This program was made possible in part by the Rasmussen Foundation and viewers like you. Gnalchish Ha'a, thank you.
Growing up in Alaska and finding my connection with other Coast Guard kids was a unique situation because here we are, a bunch of Filipinos in the military, and all the kids would connect through gatherings at our community center. And that was a space and a unit that actually organized us to get together. And I had teachers that were teaching folk dance, and my mom was very much a supporter of such program, and she would make us go every Sunday to these classes. And you know, you're at 8 years old and you have to dance with your brother. You're like dreading that Sunday coming along because we knew we had a show to do. And I would aspire to hopefully one day I can learn the tinikling, and hopefully one day I would be able to balance the glass on my head and be one of those dancers. But that was the initial introduction to Filipino folk dance and music and art.
The older generation wanted to promote the Filipino culture through dance more. In my generation, when they say dance, we dance. We didn't question. There were no extracurricular activities. And so I was very family oriented. During our generation as kids, we needed to conform to society to be accepted. Discrimination at that time was really pretty bad. And so as a child, you wanted to be a part of the kids, you know, to be in with the group. And if you didn't belong, then you had that sense of isolation as well too, because you were not in with the group.
But growing up, I do remember like not knowing where to fit in. I really was purposeful, wanting to fit in so bad that I asked my parents, like, don't speak to me in Tagalog in public. And I still to this day remember this project we did, and we had a profile of our silhouette, and I purposely put my lips in so I didn't look so full. And it was like all these features that you could physically tell you were different, but not knowing why we're different. Like, I still go to the same school, I have the same teacher, we have the same clothes, but why do I still feel different? Like, you don't know, right? So it's just really weird to hear it out loud. It almost brings me to so I didn't expect to cry. You know, racism was still prominent, and you still are trying to figure it out, and you don't know. You're so innocent as a kid. I really don't know if it has even gotten better right now, but I did feel as I grew a little stronger about our community, in the sense of seeing people wanting to do better, working so hard. Our people work so hard.
As far as now, generations have changed. The focus now isn't the family aspect of eating together and gathering. It's mom and dad working 2 or 3 jobs to save money to send back to the Philippines. I think that with these changes in responsibilities, we can still bring back a sense of connection within the Filipino community. Now, do I want the younger generation to learn about our culture? Absolutely. But again, from losing the community center, it's been hard to gather in one place, so it helps that Alma is doing something to bring us together.
For different reasons, like loss of funding and the older generations passing away, we ended up losing the community center. So now, what was once a vibrant Filipino community in the 80s became several decades of Filipinos being siloed.
Get 5, 6, ready, go. Open, close, open, close. From the experiences I had growing up to losing the Filipino Community Center, seeing Filipinos siloed, I wanted to see change. Through the health equity, we were discovering more and more people wanted to either reconnect with their roots and culture or just remind themselves that there are so many Filipinos here and that we used to do all of these gatherings and cultural events that would bring us all together. We really use that as a way to not only gather and get people together to talk about health, and my definition of health and what we are really trying to push forward is your total health, your mind, your body, and your soul. So Magsayawan Ketchikan came about with how can we reinvigorate a once vibrant culture here, and that used to showcase at least twice a year. That's where we pursued funding to try to at least get us retrained, because many of us were part of the program many years ago, but now the elders who have taught us are either too old or have passed on. So Magsayawan brings us, the initial funding was to train trainers, to retrain maybe, especially myself, to then start planting those seeds to, incorporate children and revitalize the Filipino dance and music culture. 1, 2, and nod your head, raise the hand, nod your head. Most Filipinos moved to Alaska because of the fishing industry, working as cannery laborers. But my family immigrated for a different reason. So my father wanted to better his life from the Philippines, and he enlisted himself into the military. And after all of his training, and he finally got his destination of his first station, he then, petitioned my mom and I to come to the U.S. and join him. And I was only 8 months old when I immigrated to the United States. So here are these immigrant Filipinos in the 70s going to Mobile, Alabama, the South. When we transferred to Alaska, which was our next station, we went to Kodiak first. So after Kodiak, we were there for a couple years. We moved to Ketchikan, and I was going into my 2nd grade year. So that was like in late 70s, early 80s. And this is why I call Ketchikan home, because this is where we've really planted our roots. This is where our families extended. My father was able to petition more of his siblings and whatnot. And now our family has grown exponentially here. And that's what brought us here. And that's what I feel like a lot of people come is for an opportunity And they know there's hard work ahead and the willingness to take on any type of work, knowing that you're in a better place than where you were in the Philippines. I know that a lot of the Filipinos really love to gather and celebrate. From a baptism to someone's first birthday to graduation, holidays, things that really bring us together. Because when you are new to any community, you want to feel a sense of belonging. And I think what expanded from that is trying to reconnect or connect what we had in the Philippines to here. So many of us children had parents who were growing, who are young adult parents that are like, how are we going to get our children involved? How do we remain connected to our culture and our heritage? And dancing was a way to do that. We not only gathered to celebrate and have food, but we had entertainment as well. And from there, I think Magsayawan is what brings me again back full circle. Is now here I am feeling that people need to reconnect and seeing, COVID really separated us, right? Like, so the recent events of COVID and our political climate, there's like huge divide. And we've also lost our physical space building of the Filipino Community Center. So now we have all these different silos of people just gathering as families, because that's what COVID told us to do, stay within your cohort. But also the divide of, where would we gather if we don't have a space? People would just use their homes, or they would rent a church, rent a hall. So the project really is another means to have an opportunity for us to physically gather. And it evolved to different things of like performing on a stage to creating the Philam Fest.
In collaboration with the Ketchikan Wellness Coalition and other projects.
And we're so excited that people look forward to it every year. I've already gotten a request to have someone be invited next year. So it's really exciting to see that the energy and the momentum of having us all come together again is there, especially now we feel is controlled and overcome. We've determined how to really reconnect, come back to the community and work in person and meet in person. So that is kind of like what has slowly is starting to happen, and Magsayawan plays a small role in that. I just hope it continues to be something larger, and reconnecting is the main goal. Reconnecting physically, but reconnecting with a culture maybe that you didn't know how to be part of. That's the thing, is a lot of kids, the experience is like, how do I reconnect?
For me, everybody can be included. Like, not because we say it's a Philam festival, like you have to be Filipino to go in there. Like, that has to be advertised. Like, you don't have to be like a Filipino to go into something like this. This is open. This is a learning experience. We learn, even though we're the Filipinos doing these events, like we learn something new every day about our culture, like from even people that has been, even Coach Alma learned something from me, surprisingly. I learned something from her all the time, but then sometimes I would teach her something from what I learned when I was a kid.
I wanted to make sure that everyone feels like they did a good job and they weren't.
All right, guys, you ready? Yeah. Smile, 3, 2, 1. There you go. And then the one.
So this evening is all about dance, it's all about music. So the first dance is Bulaklak ng Halamanan. The dance was first introduced in 1998 during the launching of the Halamanan Festival, and the dance was initiated by many members of the Filipino community. This is Katsudoratan, and Katsudoratan is a Maranao dance that shows the special walking movement called Kini-Kini by young ladies of the royal court as they're walking to a special event.
So maraming salamat for everyone who came out tonight and to support all of these people that are here. I know I have like 500 more gray hairs from this evening, but it was all worth it. So thank you so much. I hope to see you at Phil-Am tomorrow. It's gonna be a little bit more relaxed, but please come out and enjoy. It is a free event and we have lots more food to share. So you know we're all about food, so come on out, kain na. Salamat again, bye-bye.
Dance is this amazing way to tell a story with all different endings and all different meanings. Your takeaway when you leave after our performance is going to be so much more different than someone that, has, different experiences you. How are you relating to the dance? I find how am I connecting to this piece personally? How am I connecting to the people that stand beside me when I perform? And then of course, that dance instructor comes out of me as well. It's like, do we all look the same? I'm gonna be realistic. Do we all look the same? Because I want us to show something beautiful. But I do want them to I need you to dig deep. Remember when I'm talking about how your face should feel, I want you to remember da, 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 da. When I ask you to gracefully put, I will have to describe, how do we pull our arms up? It's like we're painting through the air. Remember your favorite painting and then you bring it up. All the way down to your finger. Every little joint in your fingertips should feel like it's moving. So every little thing, some people are like, no, I need your joint here and here, especially littles when I teach. I want, when they dance, I want them to know that every little piece of your hand needs to move. So for me, that's why I chose dance, is the feeling that you can connect, reconnect, share a story with multiple interpretations and meanings. The annual Phil-Am Fest allowed us to celebrate and honor the history and contributions of the local Filipino community. The event showed the importance of passing down Filipino heritage to younger generations. The high school Phil-Am organization even led a bingo game that reminded elders of their childhood in the Philippines. So it was wonderful to see interactions between our elders and younger generations. The festival reaffirmed the significant contributions of Filipinos to Alaska's diverse history. Celebrating our proud heritage at the festival kept history alive for everyone to appreciate. The bridge is really the connection within your own family. What we hope at Magsayawan is that we do give the stories and the importance. I do feel Filipinos have this instilled value of respecting our elders, and you can hear it by how we address elders. We rarely call them by their first name, and we have significant titles per se for your older sibling, your older, an auntie, a great aunt. There's all these names and how we address our elders. So I feel that a lot of that intergenerational connection is already within your own home and like planted in you. What Magsayawan brings though allows the opportunity to learn or see more aunties that maybe are not in your home, and to find those connections. And then aunties and elders who have the expertise and history of the dance here.
I never thought I would do something like this, but when I was trying to figure out what am I gonna do after I graduate, I just thought about this volunteering, teaching kids. I didn't know I loved kids until I did it. Like my vocabulary about teaching people about my culture it just became different. I was like, oh my gosh, I do not talk like this. I'm always awkward, but whenever I talk about Filipino culture, it feels like it just comes out. If I was not Filipino, I would love to learn more about it all the time. I love learning because you don't know what's behind it. And I love a mystery. The culture is just beautiful, like food. Not just the food, but the food, the kids, how we grow up. It's very different than what you think. Like, what's happening in the Philippines is so much different than what's happening here.
I have been so focused on train the trainers, making sure people can get their training, like I'm teaching them, but who's teaching me? So creatively being like, make some time for myself to also learn. So I am a better teacher. I'm a better educator for this program and a cultural bearer in a sense to my family and friends here in Ketchikan to really make sure I'm a holistic being myself, that I'm taking care of my mind, body, and soul. So that award has been an amazing accomplishment, and getting that recognition of being an artist, because I don't think of me as an artist. I really do think of me as a crazy woman that wants to take on all this stuff. No, I'm kidding. It's really a blessing to have this, and I wake up every morning going, wow, what will today bring? What opportunity will today bring? And everything falls into place. People are like, how do you make it all happen? And I just am so impressed with how things fall into place. I used to always have to force it. Now it's just, I've been honestly so grateful on how things just fall into place. So when I put it out there in the world that I want a center, I'm just gonna keep saying it, then hopefully things happen. And people hear us, people want to support us, and having a home for something like this is really important. And I'm putting it out there. Hopefully that happens too. As I reflect on the things we've been able to accomplish this year, I can't help but ask myself questions. Am I doing this right? Ate Helen, Auntie Helen, in your 4'6" stature, and that carried so much energy and the ability to teach us, and just wonder if what I'm doing is, worthy of your, approval. I hope my ancestors above are saying, good job. You're filling a space that when I was growing up, I didn't have, and so now look at all the work you're doing that hopefully the younger generation will continue with you. There's a lot of work for us to do, and we are really excited and hopeful to continue to build on the work we were able to do this year. And in the long term, we need to prioritize finding a physical home for our community to revive what was once a vibrant Filipino community. So again, dance is that opportunity to do so, and I just love that every story can be interpreted in different ways. Even though we give you a baseline meaning, Your takeaway is going to be different, but we should all know that we are doing it for the better good of the community.
This program was made possible in part by the Rasmussen Foundation and viewers like you. Thank you.